Hey Steve, second trip to Old Trafford in 10 days. A lot's happened for Manchester United in between times, but do you expect the prospect in the game to be a lot different? Obviously your team will be very different.
Is it?
Oh, you tell me.
No, I think it's obviously it was a League Cup game last time, and now it's in the league. I think that they've obviously got a few players back available than what they did 10 days ago, and maybe that makes a difference to their personnel on the pitch. But yeah, whenever you play, Manchester United, home or away, you're coming up against a team with some very strong players and really talented players, and it's very much something you have to be mindful. Like I said, whenever and wherever you play them. But we're looking forward to going there again. We're disappointed we only got the draw last weekend at Ipswich, and we want to get back on the winning trail. So next game is the one to look forward to, and we've had a really good week's training, real determination with the guys, and it is a little bit uncanny that we're playing them so you play the same opponent so quick in 10 days, but a game to very much look forward to, and that's what we want to do.
Are you glad it's not Ruben Amorim's first game in charge, and his team looked pretty tasty on Tuesday night?
Well, you always deal with whatever's in front of you. I think it's obviously been of great interest around the world of football with the change of manager at United, and with Eric Owen and whoever's replacing him now. Obviously, that's been confirmed. So it's a similar sort of thing for us. What it was in the first game was try and really focus on ourselves and not to worry much about any sort of narratives or noise that might be going on. There's always context to a game, and that is added into this one. But we've I know I say it every week, but if we want to succeed in any game, then it's on us, and it's about what we do. So tough game of the weekend, but a challenge to really look forward to.
As a manager, you've been in the position before of going into a team midway through a season, and obviously you had great success when you did it. What did you see at the time as the key to turning around a team so quickly?
Well, every situation will be different, and you just try and go off your own instincts. You try and align it to your own personal beliefs, and whether that's the way the team plays and or attitude or anything else, and you try and quickly get to that. But that's the challenge of every coach, whether it's somebody who's been there a long time and is going into a third or fourth season, or whether it's you take over in mid-season. There's always a circumstance that you sort of pick up, whether it's a positive one or a negative one, and you just have to deal with it as it comes. And I guess that's part of, over the course of time, is part of an experience of being a head coach or manager, is that you can, whenever you take a job, it will always look different to the one before and the one after, and I guess it's no different there.
Is it significantly more different than doing it in the middle of a season when they're not your players and you've not had that?
It can go both ways, It can absolutely go both ways. You'll have a million examples of a change in the season and seeing a real uplift, and you might see the opposite as well. So, but at the same time, you can see you've got managers in all leagues and in the Premier League that have been at the club a while, at their club now a long while, and continuing to progress and get good results. And so and that is the like I said, that is the life of a manager. You're always faced with different and difficult scenarios. There's always a challenge around how your team is performing, and I guess over the course of a career, you take jobs that are under certain situations or different situations, and that's how it is.
There's a piece of data analysis released earlier this week ranking the most valuable under-21 players in the world. Fundo Buat was 15th on that list. If you've got just under 50 million quid, I think you'll be able to grab him. But how have you found him to work with so far?
Yeah.
How impressed have you been with the impact he's had?
Yeah, really, really impressed. I think that obviously the highlights of his game has been shown quite often in the game, so you can see the obvious abilities. But he's first and foremost he's a really good lad. You know, he's really settled in here. He's really sort of down to earth, and bought into the teamship here, the dressing room, and also what we're asking him in terms of how we want him to play, while giving him the freedom to be who he is and what he is. And a really good ethic, a really good training ethic. He's aggressive in his own way in terms of wanting to win, and I think that adds to his football personality and the ability that you see. So yeah, we're really enjoying working with him. Really enjoying pushing him and trying to get the best out of him, and it's good that we see him doing it in a way that's good for the team as well and good for the club. Because obviously, every Premier League has talented players and players who can make a difference at the top end of the pitch. But when they're doing it while being themselves, but in the way that you want as a team, and really sort of falling into line with our intentions, then that's really pleasing. But yeah, no, we're really enjoying him as a lad, really enjoying him as a footballer. But we're only 10 games in, and we need to make sure that we all continue to work hard with him and every other player to continue to progress.
And as far as you understand it, and you rightly say you are only 10 games in, but is there scope at the end of the season to have a conversation with Brighton, or do you think it is very much one season?
I don't know. That's not for me to get involved in too much. Like I say, while he's here, we're really enjoying him. We take his the ownership of him as a loan really important. We treat him like our own. We give him everything. We have a good relationship with Brighton actually in terms of the communication lines. And I think that's important, and yeah, let's all benefit from his time here.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck.
You too, mate. Thank you.
Okay, Ivan.
Ivan, you all right?
Steve, yeah. There you are.
I can hear you, mate.
Yeah, they will. Okay, Man United, they made, I think, their worst start in the top flight for nearly 40 years. Only 2 points in front of you, which is, it's not often you can say that going to Old Trafford, between managers. So what sort of opportunity is this for you?
Yeah, I think that there's always an opportunity. We're not going into the game with maybe them things that you say in our mind, because I think if you have that mentality, then that can be a dangerous one, because the demands that any Premier League team can put against you is a tough one. So you have to go in to any game 100% committed to delivering the game plan and believing in it, and knowing that if we get it right, that we can play well in the game. So whether all of them things that you said there, I get are true, of course, but it's not something that we're talking about. We're talking about how we can get certain players in certain positions, both with and without the ball, to have an impact in the game, and that's fundamentally where we are. But we want to go to Old Trafford with a really good mindset, really good mentality. We really want to believe that we can go there and succeed and do well, and that's our personal challenge of this week, off a frustrating last result. Although we're over it and we're moving on, we're looking forward now to like I said, thriving in the challenge of playing at Old Trafford, and knowing that if we get it right, that we can do well.
You mentioned thriving in the challenge of being there. Is it a place, perhaps historically, it's been a place where teams might go there with a bit of fear? Is it a place now that you can go and be inspired by, almost use that?
Well, I think you can go anywhere and create anything, and that sounds like a bit of a sitting on the fence answer, but the reality is there's no guarantees. I think whatever we want to get out of any game or any season is not going to be through good luck or good fortune. It's going to be through delivering when it counts, and that's a match day, and it's going to be a brilliant stage to play on the weekend at Old Trafford. It always is, but it's one that we want to go and shine on. It's one that we want to go and show who we are, and we're really clear on how we play. We'll be really clear on the game plan, and it's really now about supporting the guys and then backing themselves to, like I said, to deliver on a match day. So Yeah, like I said a couple of times before, we're just really looking forward to getting on with the challenge now.
When you've scored in every game, you've also scored very late in quite a few games,
Yeah.
and it shows some resilience. It certainly shows some good positive signs, but it's a dangerous game as well. That's obviously something you're very aware of.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it. Yeah, again, you're right. You know, we're good for a goal at the moment, and at times we've shown the ability to keep going in games and get it late, but it's not always. Well, it isn't the plan to leave it so late to get results. We'd rather be in a different situation, and that's something that we want to make progress on. Is having a mentality to. To capitalise on, like even last week when I look at Ipswich after the start we had in the game, we had a brilliant opportunity just to go and there's never a comfortable game in the Premier League to go and make it a game that just was ours all the way through, and we never did that. So, all parts of the game are important. If we've got the signs to show resilience, to keep going in games and to not give up and to get late results, I think that's really important. But we've also got to show that at the start of games and during different momentum changes in games and all that sort of stuff. And these are open conversations that are going on, and ones that we're really trying to get right.
I wonder if you're probably delivering a similar message quite a lot already. Does that get frustrating for you as a coach that you seem to be saying the same thing to them, quite a lot?
No, not really, because I see a lot of good in what we're doing as well, and sometimes the good might be different to the week before and what might come on Sunday. And also, listen, I have to take into account what I see every day, and the consistency that I see from the guys, and how hard they work, their approach, their engagement, the level that they train at, and the real willingness to give everything for the club and get the best results possible. So, of course, most things, understandably, are judged just on match days, and that's the world that we live in. But I've got to look a bit deeper than that, look a bit further than that, and look at the processes and look at the preparation and the recoveries and the reviews to make sure that, it's a bigger picture. And there's a consistency in our message in terms of what we want and who we want to be. I think that's clear, and the guys will be aware of that. And it's about us all taking responsibility in delivering that.
Good on.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll just go to Rob from 5 Live. So if we just get the mic to Rob.
How's that? Yeah, cool.
Hi, Rob.
Good to see
You too, mate.
So just slightly broadly, 10 points from 10 games and 15th. How do you see that? Do you view that as a positive start to the season?
I think we have to have the mentality that we could do better. I think there's only 6 teams that have done better than that in the last 7 years, somebody told me. So it shows that it's a decent, when I say 6 teams that have been promoted. So I think we have to look at it and go, it's been a decent start. But I also know that, we were going to get better, and we could have, hopefully we'll have more points from the next 10 games. So, and me personally, and the guys will always want more, So yeah, 10 games in is sometimes an indicator of how things may be going, and you have to accept that it's a fair one because, over the course of time, points and league positions tell the true story. And that's probably about right, where there's times where we should have picked up more points than what we did, and there's other times where we haven't done enough to pick up points. But there's a lot to be motivated about in terms of improving and getting better and keeping a lot of good things going as well. But the ambition is to be higher. The ambition is to have more points, and that's whatever position or points we might be in at this moment in time. I'm always going to say that I want more because that's the elite world of the Premier League, and every other opponent will have the same mindset. So we've got to be no different. So we've got to think big, we've got to believe big, but at the same time we've got to go and make it happen. And that's, if we're talking about 10 games, then let's go into the next 10 games looking to do better than the previous.
And looking at the next 10 games and the fixtures, I think it would be fair to say, get harder. Is what you're actually really after, and particularly for Sunday at Old Trafford, that 90-minute performance? Is that the kind of elusive thing at the moment?
Yeah, but I don't think we'd be sitting on our own with that. And you have to accept that, like, whoever you play against, you'll always have spells where the opponent will be on top or will have more momentum. It doesn't, and we're a good case for that as well. You look at how we started and finished the game at Ipswich, for example. We were really good in the game. But then, as you're right, there's parts in between that we would have liked to have been a bit better. So, you're always looking for, that dominant 90-minute performance. But, this, like I say, you're always striving for it, but it's easier said than done. What I know is that we're really committed to the plan that's in place. We're really sort of trying to stay online and on track of how we get there, and believe that at the end of that line, there's success there, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Obviously, we've seen the impact that Jordan Ives had in the last couple of games, but when he was brought into the club, it's fair to say kind of expectations fairly muted for him, but how would you describe his impact on the group? Because we've seen it on the pitch, but obviously you see far more behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't muted internally. That's for sure, because we knew that we needed to bring, as well as young players for the future and players for the long term. We knew we needed to bring in real Premier League experience to add to what was already there anyway, and that was always going to be the case. And I think I was asked by everyone after the game against Ipswich about the composure that Jordan and Vard showed in that that combination before the goal, and that that was built on experience. So we've always been delighted that Jordan is with us. One, because of the level that he plays at, and two, because of the sort of knowing what it takes to be a Premier League player. It comes in abundance with him. So yeah, he's a humble guy. He's hardworking. He's very much about the team. Very much about the greater good. We need that. It can't be about individuals just looking after themselves. It's got to be about what's right for the club, what's right for the team, and Jordan's a good example of that. And the more time he spends there, the more that will grow, because that's what happens. And but yeah, some really important moments so far from him, no doubt, and I'm sure some to come in the future as well.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Cheers, Rob. We'll get Owen from Radio Leicester.
All right, Owen.
Hi Steve, good to see you. Just looking at the availability this weekend, any fresh injuries in the squad heading trip to Old Trafford?
Bobby missed Ipswich and still hasn't returned to the grass. He picked up quite a nasty wound in the League Cup game at United, and managed to carry on with it. But as soon as he sort of got back to the dressing room, took his boot off, it was a nasty wound on his Achilles that is in an awkward position, because it keeps opening up once he tries to go to the next step. So we're hoping that that can heal quickly, but he hasn't been out on the grass with us yet, so he's probably doubtful for the weekend. But we'll give him every chance. Apart from that, we're all right.
On Patson Daka,
Yeah,
as well, I know you said he was back out on the grass last week. Do you have any kind of timeline on when he may be able to return to action? Because he was utilised a lot in pre-season.
Yeah, no, and he's an asset for the team, and it's been great to have him back in and around the squad. He's such a positive guy, and he's obviously a good player with certain attributes that can really help the team. So it's great to have him back in the mix, and he's going to be once again a great option and competition for places. So yeah, he had a serious injury, so it is tempting just to throw him straight back in, but at the same time we don't want to do that at the detriment of getting him fully fit. So at the moment it's just about giving him the right training program and seeing how he is, making good decisions on when he returns to games. But like I said, it's quite a serious injury. Ruled him out for 3 or 4 months maybe, and an awkward injury as well. They just got to be careful with. But we're sticking to the right plan and the right cooperation with the medical team in getting him up to speed. But he is looking good. He's looking sharp in when he's been with us, and I'm sure that will grow as he really gets back to full fitness.
You talked about the 10-game mark already a little bit, but when you look at those 10 games, where are the key improvements, I guess, that you'd like your side to make to ensure, as you said, to make the next 10 games even better than what we've seen so far?
Yeah, I think I think you've got to strive to improve all parts of your game, and you know, I think it's quite dangerous to go, okay, this is good, so we'll just take it for granted that it'll continue that way. We have to work on everything. I think if we, you know, everyone has said about us being able to score in every game, but there's no doubt we've conceded too many goals as well, and at times too many chances in games. So we've got to, you know, sort of stand up to that and not shy away from us being more resilient with all parts of our defending, if you like, because, you know, a lot of the times, you know, you can win the ball as soon as you lose it, or higher up the pitch than from around your own box. So just conceding goals just isn't about the final bit. It's sometimes about how it gets there, and so yeah, that's something that we're improving or trying to improve, and of course the in possession stuff as well. You've seen us at times look really, really threatening, looking really dangerous, and at times you're thinking we need to see that more often. So it's more of a holistic thing, really, and more of an all-round thing in if you're saying where we're looking to improve. But sometimes, and I use it a lot, when I say like looking to improve, it looks like that we're not doing, you know, it's something that we're struggling at. There's lots of parts of our games going really well, and we want to keep that the case and use it again, improve even more, but also take ownership for the bits that need to get better. And it's an all-round thing, Owen, if I'm being honest.
On Manchester United this weekend, what are the challenges of facing the same side twice within 12 days? It will be on Sunday.
Yeah, like it is. Yeah, it's a bit uncanny, isn't it? And it's not. You do see it, but it's not something that happens too often for you as a team. So yeah, it can go both ways. It can build confidence and go into the next game, and it can build fear as well. We're feeling really confident about ourselves and where we're at, and that's been on the back of a bit of frustration from the last game, and a motivation and a determination going into the next one. It's been a really good week of training, which often it is, and you know, I see a good mentality through the group and the conversation that I'm having with individuals about, you know, really wanting to achieve. So yeah, I mean, we know what we're coming up against. They know what they're coming up against. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to make good decisions on game day, and you have to, you know, deliver, you know, what it takes to win the game. And we've got a good idea what that is, but now it's about backing ourselves and making sure that that's the case.